Bitter criticism. This time, I don't know what we're going to read. Al Jazeera. Let's see what Trump is saying on. Let's see the Al Jazeera coverage, live updates on Trump. Al Jazeera. Crazy disco. I don't remember. No, there's no more Trump, just the usual genocide dossier. And says, Israel kills 3 Palestinians in Gaza City, steps up West Bank raids. Live updates. Gaza City, I don't remember. I guess I thought Gaza it was a territory, but Israeli snipers kill and wound Palestinians near Gaza border as raid on Nur Shams kills pregnant woman and her fetus. Oh. By Usaid Siddiqui, February 9, updated 17 hours ago. That's the summary here. Israeli troops have withdrawn from the militarized zone that cut Gaza in half, known as the Netzarim corridor, a requirement under phase 1 of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas that took effect last month. No.
Despacito, tienen que ser más respetuosos.
Took effect Gaza in half, known as the Netzarim corridor, a requirement under phase 1 of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas that took effect last month. Despite the ceasefire, Israeli troops have been shooting Palestinians in the eastern areas of Gaza City, killing at least three today. The Israeli army expanded its assaults in the occupied West Bank, killing an 8-month pregnant woman during a raid on Nur Shams refugee camp. Terrible. Hell in life, hell on earth. Israel, Zionism. On Saturday, Israel and Hamas completed their 5th exchange under the Gaza ceasefire deal, with 3 Israeli captives released for 183 Palestinian prisoners. At least 7 of the detainees were transferred to hospital for treatment. Israel's war on Gaza has killed a confirmed 48,189 people and wounded 111,640, according to the territory's health ministry. The government media office has updated the death toll to at least 61,709 people, saying thousands who were missing under the rubble are now presumed dead. At least 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the October 7, 2023 attacks, and more than 200 were taken captive. February 9, 6 minutes ago, more than 20,000 Palestinians displaced by Israeli assault on Jenin. Israel has forcibly displaced more than 20,000 Palestinians from the Jenin refugee camp is in the northern occupied West Bank, an official says. The Israeli occupation has entirely destroyed the Jenin refugee camp and forcibly displaced over 20,000 residents. leaving behind their homes, documents, and personal belongings. Jenin Deputy Governor Mansour al-Saadi told the Voice of Palestine Radio. The displaced residents are expected to seek shelter in other cities across the occupied West Bank, as destruction caused by the Israeli assault makes their return impossible. The Israeli attacks and destruction are, quote, a conspiracy against the refugee issue, aimed at erasing it entirely, Saadi said. And 25 minutes ago. Where do Gaza truce talks stand? The 42-day ceasefire is just past its halfway point, and the sides are supposed to negotiate an extension that will lead to more Israeli captives being freed by Hamas. But the agreement is fragile, and the extension is guaranteed. The sides are meant to begin talks on the truce second stage, but there appears to have been little progress. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sent a delegation to Qatar, a key mediator in talks between the sides, but the mission included low-level officials, prompting speculation it won't lead to a breakthrough in extending the truce. Netanyahu is expected to convene a meeting of key cabinet ministers this week on the second phase of the deal, but it is unclear when. And new live update available. A few seconds ago, it says dozens of aid trucks flow into Gaza as medical evacuations lag, by Tarek Abu Azom. Medical evacuations and humanitarian aid flows into the Gaza Strip are ongoing since the early hours. Dozens of trucks made their way to Rafah and the Karem Abu Salem, Karen Shalom to Israelis crossing in the south. The convoys are carrying a variety of essential items, including food, tents, and sanitation products. Some of the tents are being sent to the northern part of the Strip to provide shelter for displaced families who are currently living in open spaces, struggling to cope with harsh weather conditions and a lack of necessities. Regarding the evacuation of patients, we received confirmation 30 wounded individuals were moved to Rafah for medical treatment today. However, the number of people evacuated has fallen dramatically compared with what was expected from the ceasefire agreement. The World Health Organization estimates 14,000 Palestinian patients are waiting urgently for evacuation to receive advanced care outside Gaza, including 5,000 children. And there's a photograph. Palestinian children chase humanitarian aid trucks crossing from Egypt into Gaza. Funny times. Chasing the truck. Cool. Let's read the Gaza Turks stand 1 hour ago now. That is the Gaza ceasefire proposal on a diagram, and an hour ago. says Israeli delegation arrives in Qatar for further ceasefire talks. Omer Dustri, spokesman for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has announced that an Israeli delegation arrived in the capital Doha for discussions on the ongoing Gaza ceasefire. We will bring you more on this shortly. Also, an hour ago, finally, something about Trump. Families of captives call on Trump to help maintain Gaza ceasefire. Ayala Metzger, daughter-in-law of Joram Metzger, a captive who died in Gaza, has made a passionate plea for help, calling on President Donald Trump to intervene, while painting graffiti with the words, quote, "Trump help us," in English. She spoke directly to the US president. Quote, "We need help. It's in your hands, President Trump. We need your help. We need to bring them back and finish this war," end quote. She said at a gathering of captive families in Tel Aviv. Quote, we can't keep this war anymore. We have no power anymore, and we have no future just in wars. We need a way to end it, and please do it for us. So maybe Rui Costa Pimenta from PCO is right. He says that there was 5,000 Israeli dead, but the Palestinian dead are just way more impressive. 40,000 Palestinians dead. That for me is a huge defeat. And well, more impressive than that, only this train delay